something terrifying is happening to the Euphrates River. Now imagine a river that has been flowing for thousands of years, giving life to civilizations, cultures, and religions. A river that has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of prophets, and the creation and destruction of wonders. A river that has inspired poets, artists, and visionaries. This river is not a joke. It's a source of beauty, bounty, and mystery. Now imagine this river drying up. Sadly, this is the shocking reality of the Euphrates River, one of the oldest and longest rivers in the world. The river that once flowed from the mountains of Turkey to the Persian Gulf, nourishing millions of people and countless species along its course, is now shrinking, dying, and disappearing. But this is not just another river drying up, it's far bigger than that. Recently, something breathtaking has been revealed at the bottom of the river. Keep up with us as we uncover the hidden mysteries of the Euphrates River. One of the most scariest part of this river is its connection with Judgment Day. According to Islamic prophecies, the Euphrates River's drying up is a major sign of the end times. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, predicted this event to happen right before the apocalypse, and recent discoveries that has taken place might have proven this prophecy right. But before we dive into the depths of Euphrates River, let's take a closer look at why this river is drying up. As we know, our world is undergoing massive climate changes. Its average temperature has risen by 1 degree since 1950, and it's climbing. This event is called global warming, and it doesn't look good. Thanks to the high usage of fossil fuels, such as oil, gas, and coal, we can safely say that the situation will get even worse. The consequences of these behaviors are massive, such as more precipitation, melting of ice, and rising of sea levels. Talking of things like these makes us shiver. We are headed towards dark times, and this has affected our planet and the creatures living in it. The results of this are massive. Some will drown in tsunamis, while others will die of thirst and hunger. And the Euphrates River is not an exception. The river is highly related to hunger, thirst, and drought, as a product of low rainfall, misuse, and water policies. The surrounding areas of the river has been highly affected in terms of vegetation and crops. Over 7 million people has been suffering from the river's drought, and a whole 800 families have moved from the villages near the river. The Euphrates has been an important feature of many fascinating stories and historical events. Among these is the supposed discoveries of King Gilgamesh's tomb, an ancient ruler of the city of Europe. The Epic of Gilgamesh, which recounts the life of this king, is considered a Middle Eastern literary masterpiece. According to the book, Gilgamesh was buried under the river of Euphrates in a tomb constructed in the river after the water parted following his death. Gilgamesh is the king of Uruk, an ancient kingdom of the banks of the Euphrates, which is currently known as Iraq. German explorers and archaeologists led by Georg Fassbinder found an ancient tomb that they believe belongs to giants that roamed the world centuries ago. The researchers reported that they discovered the bodies of massive giants. Since then, the discoveries hasn't been said much about, and it has been kept under wraps. Gilgamesh was described as a giant, which was 17 foot tall, and was the son of Sumerian king, which ruled Uruk. It's possible that he was buried in hometown. The body that was discovered in 2003 might have been of Gilgamesh. This king was not a good man. He waged war against his enemies, and was supposedly a tyrant, who was really cruel to his people. The religious side of the Euphrates is quite fascinating. From the biblical perspective, Euphrates is one of the 4 rivers that flow from the Garden of Eden. The other rivers are the Pishon, the Gihon, and the Tigris. In the book of Revelation, it is prophesied that in the near future the Potamus Euphrates of the Middle East will dry up in preparation for the Battle of Armageddon. But the question is, why will there be such a big war? Looking into the Islamic side of the story might answer our questions. Some of the hadiths of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, suggest that the Euphrates will dry up, revealing unknown treasures that will be the cause of strife and war. The Prophet Muhammad said, "The hour will not come to pass before the river Euphrates dries up to unveil the mountain of gold, for which people will fight. 99 out of 100 will die in the fighting, and every man among them will say, 'Perhaps I may be the only one to remain alive.'" Are you saying a mountain of gold? Wow! Now the whole war prophecy is making sense. When looking at the current situations, we can clearly see that the prophecies might have been correct this whole time and are coming more and more realistic as time passes. We believe it's all happening now. The Iraqi Ministry of Water Resources warns that the river could be completely dry by 2040, and this should make an awareness in our minds, because what is yet to come might give us nightmares. The Euphrates River is full of mysteries and hidden secrets, and constantly new things has been emerging from the river. Recently, a whole city got discovered. Out of that drained area, an ancient city emerged, and with just days to examine the area before the waters came back, archaeologists successfully mapped what they believe to have been a major city in the Mitanni Empire, built 3,400 years ago. People in the area knew the city was there when the dam was created in the 1980s, but the buildings and artifacts that survived the city's destruction in an earthquake around 1350 BC had never been fully investigated. Parts of the city first arose from the depths during a major drought in 2018, as Smithsonian magazine Jason Daly reported at the time. During that brief time, researchers were able to explore a lost palace with massive 22-foot-high walls, some 6 feet thick, and discovered remains of wall paintings in vibrant shades of red and blue. However, the archaeologists ultimately didn't have enough time to sufficiently map the city before the waters returned. So when drought struck again this year, a research team was assembled in a matter of days to hurry out to the site. Researchers obtained short-notice funding through the University of Freiburg to examine as much as the city as possible before it was resubmerged. Now, archaeologists have a clearer picture of what this ancient city might have been like, thanks to the team's mapping of numerous large buildings and uncovering of hundreds of artifacts. Among the buildings found were an industrial complex, a fortification with a wall and towers, and a multi-story storage building. It's possible the site could be the ancient city of Zakaku, a major hub in the Mitanni Empire, which lasted from roughly 1500 to 1350 BC. One of a number of kingdoms and states founded by the Indo-Iranians in Mesopotamia and Syria. At its peak, the empire spanned just over 600 miles, extending from the Zagros Mountains to the Mediterranean Sea. Though the emergence of this underwater city is incredible, it's not the only abandoned town to have been revealed from the depths by drought this year. In February, the Spanish village of Aceradauhich was flooded to create the Alto Lindoso Reservoir in 1992 was fully exposed during a drought. Drought is expected to continue to plague the region. That will be a disaster for locals and could present other opportunities for archaeologists. There's likely plenty left to discover. There are more than 100 underwater sites in the eastern Tigris alone. And we might, by 2040, when the Euphrates is fully dried up, see the mountains of gold emerge from the riverbed of Euphrates. And that will be a huge sign of the apocalypse, the Judgment Day. Thanks for watching, and we welcome you back for further mysteries, discoveries, and hidden secrets, in and out. Covered.